Hello, everyone. My name is Mona Lim. I'm a graduate nursing student at McGill University. I would like to present my research study titled Social Isolation, Loneliness, and Health in the COVID-19 Pandemic, a descriptive study of experiences of migrant mothers with young children. So, what is social isolation and loneliness? Social isolation is objective and measurable in terms of social network size, diversity, or the numbers of social interactions, whereas loneliness is subjective and refers to how one feels socially isolated. Migrant women with young children, especially asylum seekers and refugees, face multiple challenges that make them vulnerable to social isolation and loneliness, which have been associated with mental health problems such as postpartum depression and anxiety, and their situations have further been exacerbated by the COVID-19 pandemic. The following research questions guided our study. What are the experiences of social isolation and loneliness among migrant mothers of children aged 5 years and younger? And how do their experiences influence their health and the health of their children? For this study, I recruited a migrant woman à la Maison Bleue and collected data between November and December 2020, which coincided with Montreal's second wave. La Maison Bleue is a nonprofit organization offering perinatal health and social services to vulnerable mothers during pregnancy up to age 5. 11 women participated in this study and completed an in person, a Zoom, or a phone interview and a socio-demographic questionnaire. The participants were aged between 18 to 39 years. They came from 6 different countries in Asia and Africa. 9 had been living in Canada for less than 5 years, and 6 were asylum seekers or refugees. So, our finding shows that the women experience social isolation and loneliness as a loss of social network that are familiar to them. They often felt that they had no one to turn to for help, thus increasing the burden of motherhood and loneliness. This woman said, "Here, no one has the time. Someone can help you for one day or two, but more than that, everyone has their own worries. But it's not the same thing in Mauritania. We help each other within the community." We also found that motherhood was both viewed as being negative and positive. In one hand, a woman felt consumed by the responsibilities of motherhood, and on the other, children were viewed as a source of happiness. They provided companionship and offered them a new purpose in life. This mother explained, "If we stay at home all day to take care of the children, we can't go to work. Staying at home is too stressful. We don't do anything. We only take care of the children. We stay at home all day, 24/7. I would like to send my children to daycare, but daycare for asylum seekers are too expensive. So I would like to first find a job to send my children to daycare." Our finding also suggests that the children were often socially isolated, especially those who did not attend daycare, because they had little contact with people from outside of home since their mothers had few social contacts and often stayed at home due to language barrier, decreased opportunities to access activities or employment due to child rearing or financial reasons. These findings highlight that not having access to daycare and employment also contribute indirectly to social isolation and loneliness. Access to daycare can also affect the language development of children. A mother shared with us, "I think my son is since he found a daycare. He should be at this age speaking very well. Because keeping him at home, I'm not free all the time to teach him." The woman also stated that the COVID-19 pandemic was a source of frustration, stress, and fear. And they found the physical distancing measures implemented as challenging emotionally and psychologically, and exacerbate their experiences of social isolation and loneliness. This mother said, "I have a baby, and it's very tough for me to go outside because if there's any problem related to COVID, it would also affect my baby and my family. Now we're having fear in mind whenever we are going outside with the baby or alone." Our finding also showed that transnational communication provided the woman with emotional support, a medium in which to get childcare advice from their families and help them maintain connection with their home country. Moreover, social support from nonprofit and community organizations, especially La Maison Bleue, played a critical role in fostering friendships and sense of belonging and connections between mothers with shared identity. However, the pandemic affected the ways in which the organization provided their services, which are not always culturally adapted to the woman's need, thus increasing their social isolation and loneliness in a time where they might need more support. The following woman said, there were activities à la maison bleue. It felt good to go out and talk with other mothers to exchange. We can learn many things. But since the pandemic, people need to keep a distance. For example, we could go to La Maison Bleue when we wanted, but it's not the case now. We speak on the phone. The support is different. So how can we tackle social isolation and loneliness among migrant women? First, we should work towards strategies that reduce the determinants of health and adopt approaches that are gender inclusive and culturally adapted. For example, increasing instrumental support, providing better access to daycare, to employment, to affordable communication technology and services for remote activities, and to maintain transnational social ties, and to improve family allocation to reduce poverty. There are needs for more community support, like La Maison Bleue or religious group. So increasing funding in those areas would be beneficial. Going forward, we need to better document pandemic and post-pandemic consequences on social isolation and loneliness, and target activities and interventions to break isolation and foster social connectedness among migrant mothers and children. Thank you for listening.